Iraq's Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki welcomed Syrian airstrikes like this one, targeting ISIS militants now threatening his country.
We actually welcome any Syrian strike against ISIS, but we didn't make any requests to Syria. They carry out their strikes and we carry out ours, and the final winners are our two countries.
But the deadly risks were immediately clear. 57 Iraqi civilians killed in the Syrian air assault this week, more than 120 others wounded. Traveling in Iraq this week, Secretary of State John Kerry vowed intense and sustained support. With 90 American servicemen arriving today, 220 U.S. military advisors are now on the ground. Though so far, the U.S. has avoided airstrikes.
You said sustained and intense would be, U.S. military action would be sustained and intense if the president decides to go forward. I wonder if you could better define the time frame, but also the measure of success of military action. Is it ISIS destroyed, ISIS retreating? Is it partial retreat?
That's precisely the strategy that needs to be defined as we go forward. What I said would be intense would be the support to the government of Iraq and our efforts to try to help rebuild the military structure as well as hopefully support a new unity government.
ISIS militants are now warning that any U.S. strikes will be met by attacks on Americans. Sitting on a terrace at the U.S. ambassador's residence in Paris, Kerry met with the foreign ministers of Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, and Saudi Arabia, pulling the Gulf leaders together to reinforce the point that ISIS is not just a threat to Iraq, but to the entire region, and in fact, the globe.
Iraq obviously is one of the predominant ones. The move of ISIL concerns every single country here.
Iraq's parliament has been called to meet next week, but is this a meaningful first step in forming that unity government, as the U.S. has been asking Maliki to do? Right now, that's still unclear.